I'm Matt.
I'm Robert.
And I'm Justin, and we're 3/5 of Roman Lions. Well, we initially started by trying to create an Italian version of the famous television show Ultron. But we got sidetracked by creating the soundtrack for the show and accidentally formed a band instead.
They said wrong answers only.
Sorry, that was the truth.
That's from now on, that's going to be our answer to the band name question.
We need to get some shirts with a sad robot.
He just comes together and just looks at the camera and frowns.
Yeah.
So the other part of the question, also tell us a little more about how long you've been going for and the music you play.
We've been going for something like 8 or 9 years. And I don't know how I describe the band, but it's very loud. It's very atmospheric. It's pretty sad, but in a good way.
Yeah, existential
all
rock.
Are true.
Existential rock and roll.
God, it's been 8 years.
Yeah, been hanging out for a long time.
Yeah.
I hate you guys.
Yeah, we're like this close to being friends. It was very, very
Almost.
soon. I feel like we're all going to
one more album. One more album and we'll be friends.
One more album, we'll finally get that copy.
Yeah, I think I guess like most kids who get into the arts or get into creative stuff in general, you just kind of find it. Like it doesn't, you just kind of realize suddenly like, oh shit, I really like this thing. And I got a little help from my mom, our mom. Justin and I are brothers, by the way. And when I was a kid, I would always just be drumming on my desk, just fidgeting and just doing, kid stuff. And my mom immediately saw that. She's like, well, he's going to be a drummer. So she bought me a drum kit when I was 10. And that was all she wrote.
I was pretty much just a tag along. My brother played a lot of music and I just kind of followed him trying to be his friend.
We're so close. It's like
so close. And it's so close. One more album.
I remember our first practice, Matt, you were probably making some food in the kitchen because you eat all the time. And Justin and I were kind of strumming on some riffs. And I remember we had a moment where it just kind of clicked and we realized, oh, this is kind of working. Like these sounds go together pretty well. And then you came in and started playing your drums aggressively and it just completely knocked us off track. But for a brief moment, it was looking like a good idea.
That's when we were practicing in the house that Justin and I were renting, and the kitchen was right next to the living room where we were practicing. So you guys are writing that riff. I must have still had a pan and a spatula in my hand, and I peeked my head around the corner. Like, yeah,
started started beating on the pan.
Everything's a drum. I don't want to take up all the slots on Mount Rushmore, but I'm going to go with a drummer because I'm a drummer. I would put Ben Kohler on there. Everybody knows Ben Kohler from Converge, but he's been in like a million other bands. But yeah, the fluidity in all of his playing is just beautiful. So he's up there.
I think I would have probably Kurt Cobain would be up there for me. Maybe David Gilmour as well. Those two.
Yeah. David Gilmour is a good one. One of my favorite guitarists, one of my favorite singers. He's just great at everything he does. Yeah. +1 David Gilmour.
All right. Mount Rushmore. Ben Kohler, Kurt Cobain, 2 David Gilmours.
With Roman Lions, our last performance was at one of my favorite clubs on earth, called Bottom of the Hill in San Francisco. It was great. It was just before we recorded this new album. The whole band was there. We were at the top of our game. Just played a great set to a great crowd. Had a good time.
I would agree, especially since it was right before the pandemic hit. So it's got like a special place in our hearts as being the last place we played.
Ever. I've been, like I said in one of the earlier questions, I've been playing the drums since I was 10. So I've been in bands pretty much since then. Like as soon as I learned how to play the drums, I joined a band and started playing. So I've had the good fortune to play in a bunch of bands and play, around the country. And I think one of the coolest shows I played was in a basement in College Park, Maryland. I was in a band called Octaves at the time, and we opened up for a band called La Dispute, and this is before they're clearly rock stars now. But this was like one of their early tours coming through the East Coast, and we all knew La Dispute was gonna blow up. Like we knew it. And so playing like a tiny basement with like 30 people in it, with this band that we just knew was going to rock it up, was actually a really, really cool experience.
I would also say that probably this is more in retrospect, but one of the very first shows I ever played in a band, we opened for Shai Hulud at a VFW hall.
Oh, right.
Maybe 15 people were there. I don't even think anybody really knew who Shai Hulud was at the time. I definitely didn't, but I remember watching him and going, "Geez,
dude, I cannot believe I forgot about that one. That was at the Margate Hall in, was it Essex? Where was it?
Essex, yeah, somewhere in Essex. Yeah,
dude, Shai Hulud had just put out with Hearts. I forget the full name of that album. And they rolled up in like an SUV and like a Honda Civic. And one of the guitar players got out of the front seat of the car with like drums on his lap. Like they were super low budget for that tour. And yeah, that was another absolutely legendary band that we got to play with when it was like, a tiny little VFW hall.
Yeah.
God, that's a good one.
I feel like that was probably one of my first shows ever. I can talk about it lyrically, what inspired me, and I'll let the other guys musically tell you what inspired them. The song is dealing with how things impact you as a person, kind of existentially. Like the small things in life are usually the things that people say were most important to them looking back. Like when somebody does something nice for them, or if somebody passes away, every time somebody speaks about them, they say, "Oh, it's the little things they did for me or for the people around them that really made the impact." But on the other side of that coin, it's really the pain that sticks with us the most, the thing that really drives our decisions and our behaviors as people. No matter how slight the pain that somebody may have caused you, that's usually what you base your decisions and your actions upon. And that's kind of what the song is about lyrically, I think.
I have nothing of value to add to that.
I remember the demo.
They let me play the drums.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
I remember the demo came from Josh. We were in a period of writing where we were going through a lot of just parts and pieces and riffs, trying to find things that were working. And it was a pretty hectic period of time. And our bass player, Josh, whipped that demo up and sent it our way and said, "I think we got a good idea." And so we immediately started breaking it down and working on it. And it came together pretty quickly. It was a pretty solidified idea. For me as a guitarist, on that chorus, I just had a bee in my bonnet on doing something tappy and rhythmic and polyphonic. And so I just started tapping aggressively on the guitar, and that's how we got that sound. And I don't think it was quite working until I kicked on a compressor pedal that I had in my rig, and then it got really loud. And then it was working whether it was supposed to or not. So I just have good memories workshopping the song and figuring it out.
I played the drums.
You did.
I'm just going to probably add more to the argument and say they're neither funny nor creepy. They're really you just have to question why anybody would make the choice to be a clown. Pretty indifferent to them either way.
I'm going to answer in the opposite way and say they're both fun and creepy if you listen to the band Clowncore.
I have no strong feelings on this. That movie, It, was pretty cool. The circus was equally cool when I was a kid. I enjoyed it. People are the real threat.
Cut to black.
Yeah. Well done.